Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, April 4th, 2025 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I am the awareness between my inner rebel and my inner responsibility. If we were to go on and I take aligned action. So today we have our Saturn-Uranus sextile. And Mars is actually interacting in this energy as well. Mars is also hanging out at 24 degrees and connecting into both Uranus and Saturn in positive aspects. So hence that whole energy mantra. So Saturn is the responsibility, Uranus is the rebel, and Mars is the aligned action. And, we can find ourselves in the midst of all of this, right? And that's, I think, so much of the work of the astro right now is figuring out who you are and taking aligned action from that place. So this Saturn-Uranus sextile, while it's not the biggest transit ever, it still has some major push for all of us. And I think that this is helping to support the ongoing change that's happening in our world. And here's the thing, I know none of us are really happy with the unfolding of things really right now. Maybe here and there we're like, oh, okay, that works. But there is an overall quest for change that does need to happen. And I do feel like Neptune in Aries, part of its work in and through all of us is to help us be the change. So this aspect is just supporting it. Now, Saturn in Pisces has some deep layers because I think Saturn in Pisces may be where we take responsibility for all of our lifetimes and how we have all been a part of getting the earth to where it is right now. And we can blame our leaders, but the thing is we have all taken part in it, right? At one time or another. And we've all done good and we've all done not so good over time. And so it's holding that space for responsibility and then finding alignment in purpose on purpose. Saturn reminds us of purpose, that we came here with a mission. And part of our mission is to be human and experience and learn and have fun and play and love. And part of it has also a divine calling. So Saturn in Pisces is helping us align with that divine calling. Now, a little ways down the line, we are going to have the North Node and Saturn meeting up. And that's going to be, I think, really potent for next layer of alignment. But here we are, potentially breaking through some of the walls, hello Uranus, that have kept us from being able to activate, fulfill purpose. So Uranus is the rebel. Uranus is our revolution, evolution. Uranus is where we sometimes have some breakdown to make the breakthrough. Uranus is where we need to liberate ourselves. And it's so interesting that Uranus is in Taurus. Taurus represents money, it represents our values, it represents our gifts and talents, and it also represents beauty and pleasure. And so you may find in those areas some places where you need to break through. I think, being that I talk to so many people regularly, one of the places we all have need of a huge breakthrough is money, finance, and how we look at it, and how we will hold the energy of lack around it, and also how we think it is that we need to make it, and I think a lot of us also have to work on our personal layers of worth. Recognizing your talents and gifts, who you are, is so potent for this world. But I also feel like there's a lot of places that we haven't gotten aligned when it comes to our values. And I think that might be part of the rebel energy in this connection, where we might need to rebel from things that we have said or thought that are important that really don't have a place in our heart, and where we can honor the place in our heart in and through this. And then, like I said, Mars is feeding into this as well, which is really interesting. We have Mars in Cancer, also at 24 degrees, which I love that it's at 24 degrees, because 24 degrees, it's 6 energy, so it's balance, and it reminds us we're in relationship, right, and harmonious relationship, or not so good and inharmonious relationship with everything and everybody in this world. We are the world, right? And next to it, the MasterCard. So there is a call to figure out balance in relationship. And I think part of this is releasing blame. I don't think blame is helping us rise at all. I think showing up in our personal responsibility and taking that action is really where focusing our energy can be supportive. So anyways, Mars in Cancer in this is a little bit interesting because Mars in Cancer can be reactive. Now, let's be fair. Mars had a beautiful, long retrograde that we went through, and we're still working our way out of this Cancer hole, this Cancer energy, which isn't necessarily ripe for action energy. Cancer's like, I'm gonna stay in bed, and hello, love that, right? But Mars in Cancer can be ripe for reaction, especially when it's, Aries season and we have Uranus energy. So we might feel a little reactive today. I don't think usually reaction is the place we want to move from. Today is a day to find that the heart of the matter in yourself and move, align, take action from that place. It's interesting that one of the cards is the schizophrenia card for today, because I think, like so many things, it's not this side or that side, it's falling into the heart in the middle. And I think a lot of times we get pulled like it's either this or that, Republican or Democrat, black or white, not skin color, heaven or hell. And most things have some semblance of balance. And so remember that today, especially if you're feeling a little reactive and wanting to move from your reaction. I truly think that the best place to move from is feeling happy and inspired and excited and feeling that mission and feeling that purpose and feeling that call to aligned action within ourselves. Now, sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes we do have to move from other energies, but that's where I think that we make the most difference. And I think that when we feel that alignment, that's when we're in harmony and balance with our soul. And so that's kind of what we're moving for, working for in this energy. Now, we're going to be feeling it all day. The connection between Saturn and Uranus helping us break through some of these old layers that we need to break through in order to align with purpose in this lifetime now. That's happening at 9:21 a.m. And then Mars is going to connect into them later, 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. We also have the sun and the moon squaring each other. So like I said, we're going to feel some of that aggro energy. Mars and the moon are going to be building to a connection. That's not going to be happening till Saturday. But we still might feel some of that. So watch for that. There might be a call to get some of your feels out. Your feels are valid. Your feels are always valid, And it's okay to feel what you're feeling. Just knowing how to shift from that place, that's part of the mastery. And remember, we're all connected. What you do to one, we do to all, is something I think that's really important to remember. Speaking of this weekend, we are wrapping up Mercury retrograde this weekend. Mercury goes direct on Monday morning. Let's see. Yes, Monday morning, Mercury goes direct. Meanwhile, we're going to have the moon moving into Leo, and we're going to have Venus and Mars meeting in a trine, a watery, emotional trine. So we have some really good energies coming in with this weekend. And hopefully some of those can help inspire that aligned action. I will say my last two cards are Eye of the Tiger, the Success card, and I think once you find and feel that alignment, remembering it how it feels, like making a bookmark within yourself and being like, this is how aligned action feels. Holding space for that, and then eye of the tiger to whatever that is that's calling you, that feels that alignment. That's where you're connecting to divine source, divine energy, moving, flowing in and through you. And so that's just such a powerful place to take action from. This energy might feel a little triggering. Anytime we have Uranus stuff, it can feel triggering. And some of these triggers may be beyond this lifetime because Saturn in Pisces, hello, it does connect to other lifetimes. So be aware of that. Again, allow yourself to feel and move through what you have to feel and move through. Moon in Cancer. But I love this card too. The card Acceptance. It says radical acceptance in the now opens the flow. And so keep that in mind as you're moving through and processing. So I'm going to leave that there for today. You can book a reading if you would like to dig deeper into your own personal chart and have some support for anything you're going through. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. And remember who you... What? Oh, I'm going back. See? Look, falling into that old hole. Remember who you are. Because that's important always. But may your guiding light be strong and know that you can trust the process. Namaste.